The first clue was not a crime scene. It was an invoice quietly approved, overlooked, yet devastatingly revealing. The city was growing faster than Oversight could keep up. New vendors, new accounts, and repeated payments moved through the system. Each document seemingly ordinary, each approval adding to a silent, invisible pattern. At first glance, the network's operations seemed harmless. Invoices cleared, approvals passed. Reports showed nothing threatening, nothing dramatic enough to spark alarm in boardrooms or compliance offices. But Mara Okon, an investigator with a sharp eye for anomalies, noticed subtle repetitions, different names, industries, and accounts, yet a rhythm she could not ignore. Her partner, Daniel Reese, came from cybersecurity. Where Mara saw patterns in behavior, Daniel traced patterns in architecture. Together, they approached the investigation from both human and system perspectives. The criminal network exploited what everyone assumed was safe: small payments, repeated across time, blended into routine procedures. Ordinary paperwork had become camouflage, a perfect shield for activity nobody expected to see. Instead of chasing individual accounts, Mara and Daniel mapped the system itself. Handoffs between departments, exceptions, approval chains, and reporting gaps. They treated every mundane process as potential intelligence. Looking for meaning hidden in repetition, they interviewed clerks, compliance officers, auditors, and bank analysts. Each had seen fragments of the pattern, but dismissed them as anomalies. Mara collected those fragments like puzzle pieces, knowing they could reveal the bigger picture. The team categorized signals, verified links, probable connections, unexplained similarities, and innocent overlaps. Patience and organization became their weapons. Ethical investigation demanded caution. False accusations could destroy reputations, livelihoods, and trust. Midway, the investigation hit walls. Key records were missing. Systems didn't connect. Archived files were only readable by retired employees. Every obstacle slowed progress. Yet, each challenge revealed how the network thrived in organizational blind spots. One night, Mara revisited a low-priority compliance note from months earlier. The warning had been dismissed. The network's pattern had been flagged, but never acted upon. For a moment, the room went silent. Daniel leaned over the screen. "They were not invisible," he whispered. "We trained ourselves not to see them." That revelation reframed the case. It wasn't clever criminals outsmarting humans. It was ordinary processes amplified by human oversight gaps. The system had done its job, but it failed to connect the dots. Hours turned into sleepless nights, tracking repetitive signals across departments, cross-checking approvals, connecting dots no single person had seen. It was painstaking work. Coffee went cold, eyes burned, yet the team persisted. Pressure mounted. Leadership demanded certainty, legal caution against speculation. The team feared tipping off the network before the case was solid. Every delay felt like a risk, every decision a potential misstep. The breakthrough came from the system itself. The alert had not failed. The analyst had not ignored the signal. Instead, the system had observed, downgraded the threat, and moved on, trusting routine over scrutiny. The twist was bitter yet profound. The criminals relied not on stealth, but on procedural complacency. Ordinary, repetitive processes became shields. The system's own trust in itself had created the vulnerability. No single department had enough visibility. Ownership was fragmented. Approvals were siloed. Exceptions were handled as anomalies, never escalated. Each team performed correctly, but collectively, risk had no steward. This is how networks operate in plain sight. They don't break systems, they exploit assumptions. Systems are only as effective as the humans who maintain awareness, connect signals, and act responsibly. The final report presentation was tense. Mara outlined the pattern, the gaps, and the consequences. Executives stared at slides labeled "Where Ownership Disappeared," absorbing the uncomfortable truth that failure was not malicious, it was procedural. Questions hung in the air. Would the evidence hold under scrutiny? Could the system be repaired before further losses occurred? The investigators waited, knowing they had exposed not just a network, but the fragility of assumed oversight. actions followed swiftly once the vulnerabilities were documented. Accounts were frozen, controls rebuilt, alerts connected, and approvals centralized. The network's operations could no longer hide in plain sight. Importantly, the investigators safeguarded innocent parties. Only the network and complicit entities faced consequences. Ethical responsibility remained the cornerstone of every action, ensuring no collateral harm from investigative zeal. The organization learned a critical lesson. Routine can be dangerous if it fosters blind trust. Controls were updated, warnings escalated, and staff encouraged to question low-priority anomalies. One small flagged invoice now had the power to prevent a major failure. For the tech community, the lesson resonates. Systems may process data efficiently, but insight requires human vigilance. For business leaders, end-to-end accountability is not optional. It is essential. Ethics is more than refusing to harm. It is noticing harm before it becomes normalized. Complacency is a silent accomplice. Vigilance, verification, and thoughtful questioning are not bureaucratic nuisances. They are shields against disaster. Routine is not safe. Silence is not security. Ordinary processes can hide extraordinary risks if no one watches carefully. A system can fail even when every individual does their job correctly. Ask yourself, in your workplace, who owns the risk between departments? If that question makes you uncomfortable, you already understand the stakes. Share this story with colleagues, reflect on gaps, and subscribe to learn more about how systems shape our world.